Recording.
All right. And we're live. Welcome. All right.
Hey, the B team.
So as the scene opens in the prologue, you see Ray and Gray with their lightsabers ignited. They're sparring, and Kyrix is watching them patiently. He's sitting on a log. It seems like they're in this wooded area. They're like deep in a ravine. Moss is covering everything. Ray does a front flip, spinning, and Gray parries. Then the girl extends her left hand, and a rock suddenly hurls through the air and strikes Gray in the left flank. He's like, "Ah!" Oh! He sounds like a young Luke. Why'd you have to do that? Use any advantage, says Ray. Indeed. Kyrix stands and approaches for a moment of teaching. Don't let down your guard or underestimate your opponent. When fighting denizens of the dark side, they may exhibit many powers that seem unnatural. Be prepared for anything. Indeed, a deeper voice says. From around the corner, you can see a faint blue flicker, then a ghostly image of Kareg Bog. Master Bog, Kyrix says, kneeling. The specter laughs heartily. Don't praise me just yet. He goes on to relay an important mission, but the details are left out. There's a screen wipe. Now in another jungle, you see Kyrix, Ray, and Gray cutting down wave after wave of ancient droids. They make their way through traps, solve puzzles, and then at last they come to what looks like a holocron. They pick it up and then realize it's just one of a pair. The other, it is missing. Then they all just kind of look at each other. Can you see the background of the holocron?
Yep.
Cool. Oops. tired as hell. Chapter 19. Over the past several weeks, the world of Mandalore and its warrior culture has joined forces with the New Republic resistance. Led by its new leader, Jaminos Talon, civil order has been restored and the Mandalorian people have a new purpose. Now, our heroes await their next mission and are reeling from a recent tale recounted to them by Malik. It was a tale of purple Twi'leks, huts, slurms, and overdoses. But now the story continues. How's that for a screen crawl?
Oh, God, yes.
And Malik just goes, and that,
actual droid.
yeah, and Malik just shrugs and he's like, "That's the story, R4. You almost killed us all."
Yeah, Malik, I don't believe a word of
It's
this
just
shit.
like, yeah, he's totally full of bullshit.
Malik's like, What? It's the truth. Ask R4.
I don't like droids, so, you know.
And he just like shrugs and he's like, "It's the truth. I don't know what to tell you."
So there's a screen wipe, and you see just kind of Tess, Mox, Malik, R4, Mance, maybe, Jaminos, and Europa are kind of missing. But the others are sitting around the control center there on Mandalore, and it's been several weeks after you guys kind of arrived, and things are have been put in order, and you're kind of mobilizing and that sort of thing. There's not a ton of New Republic resistance presence there yet, but things are coming along, and Jamanos has done a good job of rebuilding. You guys are kind of in a conference with leadership, and Akbar kind of chimes in. He says, you come in mid-conversation, and Akbar is addressing Malik, and he's saying about the Hutts have been very resistant, very reluctant to join the fight.
Malik nods to himself and he's like, they would be. They only are looking out for profit, like always. But if we can convince them that they'll have more profit under a peaceful rule instead of the First Order, maybe they will. I don't know. But that's got to be the angle.
So another kind of hologram kind of flicks in at that point, and it's like an administrator of some sort, and it looks like he's looking at some data screen and says that there's been a shakeup recently in the Hutt Council, and they're just seem to be turning a blind eye to the First Order advance, and many of them are just kind of exploiting the refugees that are fleeing into the Hutt systems.
Taking the easy cash.
Isn't that the Hutt way?
Sometimes.
Go ahead, Rob.
Oh, just Tess sort of nods at the comment, isn't that the Hutt way?
Malik, agrees, but then he says, they're not as dumb as you might think, though. They'll have a plan for sustainability. They wouldn't have been there all this time and have power without being smart and looking out for their own in the future. My guess is they have some sort of plan.
So Akbar kind of nods his head and he goes, agreed. He says, desperate times make desperate allies. Unfortunately, in order to get the credits we need and the capital, we might have to work with these sons of bitches.
Malik shakes his head and he's like, slurms. That's what I call them.
He says, slurms. He goes, indeed. That's become popular slang recently. I don't know where it's come from, but I digress. He goes on to recount the kind of political situation about this shakeup on the Hutt Council, and he says the son of one Gardula of the Hutt is now controlling things from Nar Shaddaa, the smuggler's moon. And he says something about Malik and his history. He says, do you have history with Gardula? Word is you do.
Malik nods and he's like, I'm on fairly good terms with Gardula last I was there. And he kind of clears his throat and like, it's been a while.
Looking for my R4 beat, man. Can't find my sound R4 beat sound effect.
Beep boop boop boop.
There you go.
Beep, baba boo, bazow.
So Malik kind of tells his history, and Akbar goes along to kind of give the dossier of this Gardula's son. And his name is Bigsby. And he's flamboyant. He goes, he's a flamboyant Hutt. See if you can get there. Take your team and maybe try to talk some sense into him. We need Hutt resources, but be careful. The smuggler's moon is treacherous, and Bigsby has a penchant for violence.
Malik shrugs and he's like, yeah, nothing's changed, I assume. He's like, do you have any information on Gardula?
And basically he kind of looks through his dossier and kind of rattles off a few facts and figures and says, what happened about this kind of recent shakeup on the Outer Rim, especially in Hutt space, is a little bit kind of been kept under wraps. And it'd be a good time for a knowledge Outer Rim check.
All right.
Oh, the time I'm useful. Jeez.
This is not going to be good.
Let me clear the dice pool and stuff here. We'll do Destiny here after a bit.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to use it here, so. Outer Rim. You get it set? Difficulty?
Yep. Wash.
Why didn't it? Oh, because. Yeah, that's weird. Why didn't it? Oh, because there was nothing.
It's just a wash. It's just a straight failure.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But after this and stuff, after you meet back up with Europa or whatever, if they can make another check. I'm cool with that.
Okay.
But right now, you kind of search your memory and you know what you know. But as you know, that time you spent on Nal Hutta, a little fuzzy in your brain.
Yeah, more Malik. What was just asking is he alive, Gardula, or what's his? That was pretty much what he was hinting at. But.
Last you know, Gardula was alive.
Okay.
Last you know, she was alive. But
that's crazy that you evened out. I would have just given you a blue, but so.
No,
because you're better at the skill than me, but.
Two.
No, I 2. Yeah, no, 2. I would have 2 and a yellow.
Yeah, you would be better.
Well, 2 with a yellow.
Yeah. Anyway, Malik's just nods and he's like, I guess we'll find out when we get there. He sighs. He's like, I hate Nar Shaddaa.
And R4 beeps, kind of asking a little bit why.
And he looks at R4 and he's like, what do you think? And he asks R4 where the shipment of droids that were coming in are.
My headset dropped after you said, what do you think?
He just kind of nudges R4, and then he's like, now tell me about the shipment of droids you were mentioning that got me on this story in the first place.
So as they start to digress and talk about that, there's actually a screen wipe.
Great. Uh-oh.
All right. And
Jaminos, I am as big as the entire city.
And
it's really been working out.
I'm gonna let Chris read this, if that's cool. All right.
Yep.
Oh Jesus fucking Christ, that's huge.
It was a lot smaller when I wrote it. Okay. Europa receives a comm in the late hours of the night asking for her to come to the coordinates on her datapad. Jaminos offers no other details. The coordinates lead her to the ruins of a building that might have been a meeting hall long ago. Now is just the bones of a very long and bloody war. A single shaft of light illuminates the center of the ruins. In it stands this man, Jaminos. As Europa approaches, the man takes off his helmet, revealing it's Jaminos. Apparently he's upgraded in his new fancy title. When he speaks, his voice rings throughout the ruins and is as if being projected. Jesus Christ, I can't talk tonight. Europa, sorry, I thought I spaced these. Europa the Achani, daughter of the Night Sisters, what have you done? His eyes lock on hers, his expression serious. You took my honorable death, and now here I stand. His voice begins to pick up with passion. You saved my mother, the greatest warrior in decades. Now here she is standing to teach a new generation of Mandalorians who will be the greatest warriors in the century. Chanting begins to be heard in the ruins as the figures of hundreds of Mandalorians begin to turn on their armor lights. What have you done? You have saved my people. But it could be more, Europa. They could all be yours as well. He brings a unique-looking Mandalorian helmet from behind him and offers it to her. I offer to adopt you into Clan Talon as my sister. From this day and all days hence, you'll be considered one of us. You will, of course, have no obligation to the clan. Your actions are those of a Vod, a sister of my people, one who fights for the core beliefs, Hait, truth, honor, and vision. Believe only in the truth of one's actions. Fight with honor, but fight to win. And finally, have the vision to always see your next step in your journey. Always forward, never back. What say you, Europa?
Yeah, so Europa just kind of like looks around at this, and she's just kind of like, taken aback at first, because I imagine like as the light kind of shows all the Mandalorians lit up in the background, and they probably are all in their various battle gear, and she like has this like kind of wide grin as she like takes the helmet from him, and she kind of speaks up to him. I've always wanted one of these sparky looking things.
And he just kind of gives a knowing smile.
And she puts it on and is like, gee, do you really have to go with the one that has a size, one that's a size too small or something? I feel like my head's crammed in this damn thing. Is it supposed to feel that way? And, she's obviously fiddling with it, like the recesses on the back of her head. And, but she just kind of like, does like a kind of like, like a shove to him, and he's like, thanks for the honor. And she after messing with the helmet, she takes it off and puts it underneath her arm, and is like, yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it at all.
And he nods, and again the chanting kind of begins to increase, and one by one the lights kind of start to flicker off in the armor, and it's like they weren't there.
Yeah, like as the lights kind of die, she just it's probably not the wisest decision, but her lightsaber just goes like ignites and like is above her, and she just chants the three terms. And what we see in the background is a as it kind of dies, or the scene kind of fades away, we see Europa's face get lit up over a like large blown up in the distance. The shadow, the outline of her face gets blown up, and it looks almost regal.
So Jaminos, go ahead. You're seeing, but
no, you speak. You obviously had.
I just kind of it struck me how the rest of the Mandalorians. I mean, you're kind of a bridge between this lightsaber wielding hero who's thrown her lot in with your people, but nevertheless is a lightsaber wielding hero that uses the Force. Is this building a bridge between your culture and her, or do they have some resentment? Or
actually, it's to her. She's proven to herself, because Mandalorians have always respected Jedi or Sith or whoever, so long as they fight with honor and fight. I mean, it's been multiple occasions where they've done something. I mean, there were. I don't like to admit this, but there were Force sensitive Jedi Mandalorians that do, or at least Force using Mandalorians that have existed in the past. So it's not outside the realm of possibility.
So they're on board.
She saved essentially the mother of Mandalore.
Sweet scene.
But during that scene, when I said the look of regalness, there's definitely something on Europa's mind. The whole situation kind of brought it back up. But yeah.
Okay.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
So, I don't know how, I think Bo wanted me to actually physically craft it for you, but you'll have your own set of Mandalorian armor that is tailored to your fighting aspect of close combat while not restricting your movements. It would be considered like a light Mandalorian armor. I'm sure you've seen it in like Sabine and other characters like that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have been tinkering around with the stats, but I don't know how Bo wanted me to go about it.
Oh, I was thinking that it could just be the Jedi battle robes or the Jedi armor, the armored robes. I think they're called.
Well, you can do battle armor and it doesn't restrict you at all. Especially with
oh yeah, no, but there's like it's the same stats, I believe it is. I'll look at it.
Well, and it's you. Hold on, I've got your particular, because it increases your strength. It does so many stupid things. It's incredibly.
Oh, I wasn't looking for upgrades.
Well, it's not a matter of if you wanted an upgrade or not. It's part of the armor itself.
I guess so. I mean, whatever Bo gives me, I'll take. I'm not gonna say no to upgrades.
Yeah, we can work on it.
Yeah,
at some point.
Superior customization, helmet comlink. Let's see, seal.
All I know is that I'm super tricked out now, and that's awesome.
The only difference is mine actually has cortosis weave in it.
I don't need
cortosis. That's kind of the benefit of being Mandalore. I kind of do. I kind of lost an arm last time.
You've got another.
But yeah, no.
Yeah.
Maybe in that scene, like I said, you get the sense that I mean, she's all jovial about it, and she's like a little taken aback, but you could definitely tell there's probably something brewing beneath her skin, like an old thought. Or the whole situation reminded her of her past. It almost looked like.
Yeah, and the only thing I would add to all this is, and sorry to keep the scene going unnecessarily long, but he and the Mandalorian people literally consider her a member of the family. I mean, he literally thinks that she's his sister now.
Fuck yeah.
A sister. So you have a sister. Now Malik's failure is...
and she's tougher than I am.
All right, cool. So you guys, Mandalore and Europa walk back into this control center, and they walk in. As they walk in, it's like kind of the tail end of the conversation between Akbar, saying something about how the Hutts have tried to send like all these droid reinforcements, but they've been faulty, and they're not really living up to their bargain. And the feeling is that it has something to do with this kind of, there's not a lot of leadership amongst the Hutts, and they're just not really committed to the cause. They're kind of profiting off of this war in the First Order advance, and they need somebody, again, like they said before, to go in there and convince them that it's to their best interest to work together with the NRR. Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan.
So.
Everybody else looks fairly badass, except me legless. No.
Somebody deleted Jaminos.
Me legless.
So Malik.
Malik's like Cotton from King of the Hill. His shins got blown up.
I had to put Jaminos in the back because he didn't have any legs at all. So that's the reason he's in the back, looming over everybody.
Well, now I'm in the front.
Yeah, so
that's about the appropriate height for him anyway.
Anyway, you guys walk in.
The only thing you guys see is like two armored individuals come in, and like this is probably the first time you've ever seen Europa in armor ever, or anything.
This would
more
be
than like
technical, actual reintroduction of Jaminos in his new armor as well.
Yeah, so we've got Chrome Dome that walks in first, and then the shorter version, a little bit more. The armor's probably like not stock standard, and it looks pretty no shit. And it's when the helmet comes off, it's Europa, and she she looks like she doesn't really understand how the armor thing works. But because, like I said, you guys are used to seeing her in like the equivalent of a battle bikini, and
Yeah. Malik looks up and he's like, "Whoa, was there a modesty course on wherever you went?"
oh, fuck off, Malik. She's just like smiling at that. I guess Jimmy just thought it was appropriate if I started wearing more clothes around us people. They were getting too distracted.
R2 is just kind of spinning his dome around, just his optic scanners looking you up and down.
Oh, look, I look like you, don't I? I'm sorry about that.
Jamilos looks like he was about to say something untoward about her walking around mostly naked and not having any issues with it, and then he realizes, he's like, I probably shouldn't.
So Malik's like nods. He's like, "It's a good thing you guys got back here. It looks like we're gonna have to go to Nahada again."
Nahada. What is that
Narshada.
sound from it? You mean Narshada, right? That shitty place in your story or something like that? Did you talk about that? I really wasn't paying attention. I kind of nodded off in your Slurm story or something.
And Malik's like, that one.
Well, I mean, leave it to men to fantasize about weird things, but I never thought you'd be into giant slugs, Malik.
Malik
That's
just
what I recall.
shakes his head and he's like, "It's not exactly where I want to be. I haven't been there for over 10 years.
Well, what's the problem?
I don't like giant slugs."
Well, neither do I, but I don't really think anyone likes them. They're just good with money, right?
And Malik nods and he's like, "And very bad with other things." He's like,
Personal hygiene.
personal hygiene, frogs really do not like huts. And he kind of chuckles and he's like, "Anyway, I guess we should get going, as much as I would prefer not to."
All right, you ready to head out on this important mission?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Europa just kind of, shrugs her shoulders in her new armor and says, this shit's kind of heavy. I like it.
You can. How do you want to play it for this session? We can customize it later, I guess. But
Oh no, I don't really care if it doesn't like this session. I mean, I don't have the stats. Just RP it.
Cool.
Whatever.
You're pretty
Give me an extra
unkillable.
soak for now.
Okay.
Just give me an extra soak and I'll be all right because I already have like ridiculous amounts of soak. So it's whatever.
All right.
The armor itself only adds 2 soak.
And so
Then it. Sorry.
No, that's good. I was gonna say Malik is like, "If you see any Twi'leks, keep them off of me. I hate Twi'leks."
I thought you hated. You know what? No, never mind. So, I mean, do you know anything about Nar Shaddaa? Have you been there recently?
He's like, "No, that's what I've just been saying."
Oh, yeah. So, and she goes to like as they're walking on the ship. I was only there in passing. Let's see if I can. And she like goes to sit down at her familiar little table, and she kind of like takes off or throws the helmet on the table and like runs her hand through her like strand of hair that runs down the middle of her head, and begins to try to recall the world and who's important and whatnot.
Yeah, Malik gives them a data pad with all the information about what they got from Akbar, I'm sure.
And Jiminos even is like, I've been here before. I was a bounty hunter, it's kind of part of the trade, dealing with slimy, ugly ass huts.
Yeah, no, it's more
Every
that
time they want to try and get you.
I was here recently, let's put it that way, before you guys called me back up to show up for the new Republic Resistance to come back and help. Oh, well, Jesus Christ. I wasn't supposed to have one of those blues and two of those purples, so I assume I passed.
Yeah, you didn't get any failures, so.
Well, yeah, if you take off the advantage and you take off three threat, three threat, I would pass.
So basically, what you know about Nar Shaddaa and basically the hut system in general is over the past several years, you'll remember, like last time you were there, hearing something about a lot of infighting between the huts and that Gardula family that ruled for a long time, and they actually kind of came to prominence after Malik's story had a split in that family. Okay. And one day, Gardula went the way of Slurm and was found dead. And nobody really ever figured out, what happened. The official news sources thought it was just they said it was overdose, or she died of gluttony, that sort of thing. Yeah. But shortly thereafter, her son, Big Z, kind of came to prominence, and now he is on Nar Shaddaa and actually kind of running a lot of stuff through there. There's not one single ruler at this point. They're still kind of feuding, but her son is kind of the more prominent one.
Okay, yeah.
He's the shot caller.
Yeah, so when she gets the data pad and she reads through Gardula is supposed to be the person in charge, she just kind of says, "Hey, Malik," and she's calling to the front of the ship.
Malik's like, "Yeah," and walks up there and.
Gardula's dead,
And he kind of frowns and he's like, "That's unfortunate." He's like, "What happened?"
Well, she went the way of Slurm, and she does the facial, she closes her eyes and holds out her tongue and does an overdose face.
And Malik kind of
or so they say.
Traditional.
Yeah, Malik shakes his head and he's like, "I doubt that very highly." He's like,
"Oh well, it's a bunch of it's Nar Shaddaa. Nobody dies without a reason."
He's like, "Well, Slurm, there was Slurm," and he kind of chuckles and he's like, "Okay." He's like, "So I would assume, knowing Huts the way I do, that her son has to have something to do with this."
Yeah, so it might be different now, but there are about 3 or 4 rulers of Nar Shaddaa right at this current moment. And this information might be a couple months old, so apologies if it's not correct, but her son Big Z is the one we're going to be looking out for. Gardula, I don't think, is going to have any input in this situation, being dead and all, but I think this might be this Big Z cat is who we're looking for.
Malik nods and he's like, "I hate this place."
Oh, it reminds me so much of you, Malik. And she's looking at a picture of it. It really does have a ring. It's a nice place every now and then if you're just stopping in, I guess. It's got all the Twi'leks you could ever or a man could ever want.
He's like, "Exactly."
No, I could use a lot of Twi'leks. I tend to break them.
He's like, "Watch out for the purple ones. They try to drug you and steal your credit stick, like I said."
Hey, look, Ewoks for sale.
But yeah, no, again, Europa's kind of. She like throws the data pad on the table and lets it slide across and it slides so far that it just falls down on the other side, and she just kind of rolls her shoulders. She's like, "Hey, if you need me, I'm gonna go jump in in my bunk, and her hammock in the like engineering room and pass out." And
he lets her walk off, and he looks over at Tess, and he's like, "Does she have a concussion or something?" And he's like, just shakes his head and heads towards the cockpit.
So at this point, R4 rolls over and beeps and turns off some sort of alarm and says that you'll be emerging from hyperspace in about 4 or 5 standard hours and to rest up.
Yeah, Malik heads to the co-pilot seat and falls asleep like normal.
Jaminos just kind of shakes his head. She's like, she's been a Mandalorian for 4 hours and already she's acting like one of us. And he nods off in a corner.
Tess is like pounding coffees, flying the ship.
pulling the trucker hours.
Yeah, having a couple of red eyes.
Some death sticks,
You've been to many a planet. So you guys come out of hyperspace, and below you see this just neon city. You've been to many a planet, many a city, and many a GM saying many when he means a great number. You've also likely encountered a GM who says arse when he means ass, or a really fine piece of ass, but I digress. At any rate, you enter not the heart of darkness, but the heart of light. The heart of a really, really greasy light that is full of money, treachery, and STDs, especially the droid variety. Sorry, R4. Your ship enters the atmosphere and the clouds are like sooty smoke. It seems to even coat your viewport. You zoom downward. From high above, the capital of Nar Shaddaa looks like a brilliantly blurred light that's yellow in the center and pink at the edges. As you get closer, the planet's surface coalesces into skyscrapers and giant rotundas. And the neon, it's everywhere. It's gaudy, but it's really effective. As you enter the main traffic lanes, you notice signs for gun shops, sex shops, casinos, and shops for various intoxicants. Of course, there are also shops that purvey the cures for said sins. Eventually, you land your ship, and your ship automatically downloads a local vicinity map. Welcome to Nar Shaddaa. Welcome to Nar Shaddaa, a sultry voice says. What is your dream?
Malik looks at Tess and rolls his eyes. And he's like, clean living.
Tess laughs at that.
Jaminos kind of temptedly, was like, I could stop by. Yeah, no, I'm Mandalore now. I can't do that.
Europa is still asleep.
And Malik's like, we need permission to land, please.
So you go ahead and land, and then that AI voice just repeats again. Welcome to Nar Shaddaa. What is your dream?
My dream is your piece of shit voice to shut the hell up.
I'm sorry you are dissatisfied. Do you have another request? Perhaps a drink?
Shut the hell up. There's just like something's thrown off a wall and it ricochets and hits the like receiver where it is, and it cuts off the voice wherever it is just because of force powers. It like bounces off a wall and hits.
So it hits it, and this voice says, "Shutting down. If you need my assistance again, please say, Alexa, wake up."
Comes back talking to Europa, sounding like Sam Kinison. What? What do you want?
Oh god. Yeah, and she kind of like groggily from the other room kind of like wakes up and shakes her head and like steps through the doorway and I looked at the situation from afar. Everybody kind of gathered around. It's like, what? Don't look at me. It was really loud.
So you guys are landed on a landing pad there, and you basically, I guess, need to find where this Bigsy guy is located. And so you can have, a couple different options on how you do that, I suppose.
So Malik says, R4, can you look up where the Hut Council is currently located? He's like, I guess we'll go there. Not that I really want to, but...
R4 kind of beeps, and he jacks back into that, to the console, and the little kind of guide wakes back up, but doesn't say anything because it's too scared of Europa. And R4 kind of says, yeah, basically, I have a map. I know where to go. You want to just go ahead and follow me?
Malik's like, I guess.
Malik, I don't know how I feel about going to meet a bunch of giant slugs.
He's like,
She says as she's like walking off as the group are walking off the back end of the ship, the loading dock thing, and tell me again why we're doing this. Like, this is the last place I thought I'd come to get help for the new Republic.
Malik's like, yeah, money. What else?
It makes the world go
That's
round,
the
I guess.
center of all the money.
Still, I mean, this is like walking into a trap. Has to be, right?
Malik's like, just let
I've
me
seen
do the
enough
talking.
Rancor pits to. Oh, like that hasn't gone south for us before.
He's like, Malik's like,
And
what are you
Jamil
worried about? You have armor
sorry.
now.
I didn't need it before. Why do I need it now?
Okay, hand it over. It's like,
Yeah.
And when something like handed over happens, she just puts on her helmet. She's like, and the voice operator thing, it cuts on as it lights up, and is like, nope, this one's mine.
Jamil kind of nudges her. He's like, damn right.
all right, so you guys are gonna head out in search of old Bigsy here. So you guys leave the landing pad and head into the city. And as you walk, there's just bars everywhere. There's a hut here and there, kind of with a big retinue of Twi'leks near them. You see some graffiti on one of the walls that says "Slurm lives." So you guys kind of make your way through the city towards your target. You kind of have various kind of people approach you and offer you death sticks and all those other sorts of things, and some of them look a little shady, some of them look reputable and whatnot. And so I'm going to do a series of 3 streetwise checks or some other sort of check. You're basically trying not to get duped, trying to notice things that are out of place. So if you have a different check you would like to make, I'm willing to listen to that as well.
Is that 3 checks individually, or just 3 checks together?
Yeah, it's going to be 3, like a 2 of 3, a skill challenge, basically.
Well, I mean, I don't mind doing a cohesion to get them to back the fuck off.
Okay.
If you guys want me to do that, that would be
Be fine by me.
My highest stat
That's fine.
for the.
Let's do Destiny points real quick.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
And
Unless
you get one more light, right? Because Tess is a paragon.
Right.
Little goody 2 shoes. Not with that body.
She's loving him with that body.
And all the
I know
drugs it
it.
took her to get us over here.
Late at
Yeah,
night.
she's all jittery. What?
All right. So I'm going to upgrade the first check, use one of my dark side points off the bat to make it even. And it's going to be
Ooh.
3. It's an upgrade. Your difficulty is set on this one. I would like some other people to kind of get involved in the checks, not do coercion.
Oh yeah. I don't. The thing is I don't want to overshine someone. So someone, please, if
Yeah.
you've got a better stat than 3 and 2 yellows, and take it.
No, well, I don't. I just have 2 yellows and a green for like leadership or something like that. But
Even leadership, like, you know.
Yeah, leadership. You could just be like, no, don't. Let's not. No, thank you.
Well, we have
You
to
know,
do
you
3
stop somebody
checks.
from-
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whatever we want to roll. If we want to go with like me intimidating them, there's a leadership check and maybe like a streetwise check if somebody's got it or something like that. It doesn't really matter to me.
That's fine. I don't have shit, but
I don't.
So the first guy.
Why isn't it?
So the first guy is this like Deveronia that kind of like tries to stop your group. Here, let me. There's like a Deveronia that kind of stops your group and gets in front of you. He's like, "Hey guys, got some really good stuff," and looks around and looks at
I
everybody.
just shove him out of the way.
He's like, but you're gonna want to see this, and he opens his coat and has a bunch of like sex toys on it.
Yeah, I
Only slightly used.
Slightly used, just really nasty, gross stuff. He's like, this will really make your life better.
So what happens to him is I shove him out of the way, and when he opens up his coat, I force push him like 20 feet or so.
All right, roll it up.
Just all I have to do is roll
Oh, you did already.
the power, I think. No, I already succeeded
okay.
with the
Oh, cool.
roll.
Yeah,
but
you don't
when he
you don't
does
need to roll
that,
I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
Yeah, no, I just used, instead of me actually doing anything, I just force flick him away. It's just like, I don't even hit him with myself. I just, launch him away from me or push him back even.
So
Because my force push isn't that strong, but I can pick up normal people.
Right.
So
this guy is like trying to show you his like pretty perverted wares, and all of a sudden he just gets blasted back into the wall, and out from his trench coat just spill like a dozen dildos, and like he looks super scared. His eyes go wide, and he just scampers away down the alley.
So there's like a baseball bat, like long sized one, and Europa bends down to like pick it up, and she just like holds it in front of her and turns around to the rest of the crew, and she like if you saw the Game of Thrones show where like Ramsay Snow like shakes the sausage in front of Theon after his thing got cut off, she shakes it a little bit, and she's like, "Gee, I didn't know they make them that big."
Malik's like, just like rolls his eyes, and he's like, I would have not picked that up.
Good thing I'm wearing armor, huh? And she just like drops the thing and then like wipes it. There's no residue obviously, but she wipes her hand on Malik's shoulders like, come on, that caused a scene I didn't really want to have shown. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, Jaminos is like, and we're trying not to attract the First Order, but keep it up and they'll show right up.
Yeah, well, I like enemies right out in the open. It's easier to stab them that way and to shoot them.
Well, sometimes a warrior must know when to draw their weapons and when to sneak past them.
Well, that was just a mirage. Nobody has force powers anymore.
Malik's just like winces as you do that, and he's like, you see R4, this is why I like droids. And he just like starts walking.
Why, Malik? I'm great fun.
Hold on 1 second. The 4-year-old's crying.
Sure.
Oh no.
I know he's usually pretty good. I'll just go grab him.
That's why I like droids, because they're so much better behaved.
5 minutes.
It's like your memory gets distant, and you kind of forget all the bullcrap. It just seems like it was better.
Kate would have probably just killed somebody. The moment you open up the code, he'd be like,
beaten to death with his own wares.
Yeah.
You have various meatbag killing devices. I think I will acquire one and beat you with it. It's the baseball bat sized one. Could you imagine getting beat with one of those things?
It's called the Hut Tickler.
Oh god. Oh god. Jesus. These past
PR.
Yeah, no. Well, there is no PR yet, but it's highly entertaining, I will say that.
Yeah, somebody got super cocky now they've got armor on.
Yeah, but it's also me playing it up actually. So
I think she has CTE.
no, what would give you that idea?
I don't know what that is.
It's whatever the football players and boxers get after getting their head bashed in for so many years.
Chronic traumatic
enteropathy
fucking
or
some
something
big
like
word
that?
I can't say right now. I'm sure the doctor would be the one to be able to say that, but it's
Yes.
I know it's chronic traumatic blah, 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 blah. That's how I'm going to say that word.
Hits to the head.
Yeah, no. No, I'm purposely playing her this way just because she's trying to like get through stuff and not be herself. And I think I'm being effective at it. Somewhat. I don't know. Might be just fucking shot in the dark.
I'm down with whatever you're gonna do. I mean, Jamino's right now is trying to be the one who's the sound of reason. You know, he's like, be all calm and quiet. Don't try and use your force powers. But secret, he's like, why don't we just blow this,
Fucking shithole
Mother
apart.
Slimmer up?
Mother Slimmer.
I can, yeah, I can now literally have a Mandalorian fleet here in an hour and start bombarding this place like they should have 100,000 years ago.
It is a shithole.
Fall back and nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
What is your desire? I just don't want to be here. Goodbye.
Yeah, Malik does not like this place. It's like when you,
Actually, Jaminos loves this place.
it's like bars I used to go to in my early 20s. I don't want to go there again.
It's like the bastard offspring of Vegas and Detroit.
Space Vegas in Detroit.
Yeah.
Only the STD count is 75%.
God, I love Vegas.
You would.
I would. You're right.
I've never had an interest to go to Vegas.
Neither have I.
I don't like spending money on gambling.
Oh, there's other stuff there.
Oh, there's some other stuff.
I know that they've made it into like a theme park for kids, so the parents can go and waste all their money and not.
No. It's a theme park for adults that has crap for kids to do. Of course, spending money, it does sort of all boil down to that.
Yeah, it definitely all boils down to
Go
that.
have a steak at Gordon Ramsay's joint, take out a mortgage.
Man, I just go to the Excalibur and go to Pizza Hut.
There you go.
Excalibur, man. $30 rooms. Shittiest hotel in the history of the world, but shittiest casino in the history of the world too. But it's in walking distance of the good ones.
Anybody that listens to our games, there's always like kids crying. We have to quit.
I didn't hear anything in
I'm
the
sure
background.
they're entertained by our antics while you're gone anyways.
All right, so where were we? You got away from the dildo salesman.
We were walking past the Slurm Memorial.
Gee, from your story, Malik, that kind of looks like that asshole that died. As she stands in front of like an art piece.
He's like, they all look the same.
Fill me in here.
Of a dead nut and 3 droids.
There's graffiti of 3 droids in a dead hut.
Malik like rolls his eyes and he's like, only one of the droids died. I already told you that. And he's like, and I have her consciousness anyway. She's still around.
Yeah, you're gonna have to plug her in for me to actually believe that bullshit story.
Malik just rolls his eyes, keeps walking. He's like, no more beating people up on the streets. Let's go.
I didn't touch him, Malik. And she just kind of just has like a wicked grin on her face.
So as you guys there, like this other shady character, this one's an Aqualish kind of approaches you and he says like, hey guys, where you going? You need a guide?
Malik's like, no.
Yeah, come on, yeah. I'll show you wherever you need to go down here. It can be pretty dangerous.
Somebody else roll. Don't fail.
I think I'll roll leadership on this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
If that's okay.
Makes sense to me.
He's one charming ass Aqualish, and you need my leadership skills to keep you on the path. So let me know when difficulty's set.
It's set. Ooh, success.
Triumph,
A
motherfucker.
triumph.
Oh,
How
there's
do you
a
want
triumph.
to use that?
What are my options?
He gives Jam all his death sticks and turns over a new leaf.
It's kind of what do you want to do?
Okay,
Mechanically, you could pass something on.
Jamios is actually kind of... Well,
Go ahead.
do we know where we're actually going?
Yeah, you know where you're going.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pass it on to the next check, I guess. I the only thing I could do would be story, and it'd be kind of a waste.
No, I think what we can do is probably kind of let's do this. There's going to be you pass the 2 out of 3, and so that's going to lead to a second tier of checks. I'm going to probably give you an automatic success on that just to move things along, and it'll be thematically appropriate. If that'd be okay. Do that.
All right.
So
I can work with that then.
So you the guide, quote unquote guide. You kind of step forward and he looks at your Mandalorian armor and he just pretty much shits a brick and he's like, I'm sorry. He's like,
I walk up to him and I just kind of, like I'm a buddy of his, just kind of wrap my arm around his shoulders, kind of just like, buddy, old pal, you are going to be my guide. I want a speeder here in the next 5 minutes, taking me directly to these coordinates. I would hate to be disappointed in your skills as a guide.
And he's like, he looks kind of shaking his boots. He's like, "No, you got it, boss. You got it." And within moments, he gets on his comlink, and a driver appears. And the driver kind of looks at the Aqualish and is like, "Who are these guys?" And the Aqualish
Your slurmer is here.
He just says, friends of mine, take them wherever they need to go. And what he says, he kind of whispers to Jaminos and says, and listen, you're being followed by a droid.
Tess kind of hides a grin at the Mandalorian mind trick.
Jamino switches on to his private con system, since it's his helmet's sealed and everything, and just kind of switches over to Europa's channel, and he's like we're being followed by a droid.
Well, I can't really detect any goddamn droid or God's blessed droids. So why don't you tell the mechanic of the group? And she like looks over to like little Mox's shadow if he's with us. Is Mox with us?
He's back in the ship.
Okay. And she's like, oh, fuck. At the time we need the little furball. She's like, I'll keep my eyes out. And
I kind of nod and just nod for them to get in the ship or get in the speeder, and just like looks to Malik. We need to talk for a moment once we're inside.
Malik nods and climbs into the speeder.
yeah, I think Europa sits next to Tess and definitely takes off her helmet and then like starts talking to Tess like kind of close, and she says, there's a droid around here somewhere looking out on us.
Milos does the same for
Yeah.
Malik.
Max like a droid. He's like, fuck. He's like thinking what droid it could be. And he's like, I don't know. He's like, they know we're here, obviously, so, well, I guess it doesn't matter to be stealthy then. Let's just get there.
So you guys hop in the speeder
Mm-hmm.
and go ahead and fly through the city. As you're flying, like, you know, there's kind of a feeling of uneasiness as everybody knows now that at least some force that wishes you ill knows of your presence on Nar Shaddaa. And true to his word, the Aqualish's driver drops you off in front of Big Z's little cantina or palace, and this is where you're at. And as you disembark the air speeder, you actually know what to look for. You guys are scanning the horizon, and like perched above up here, perched above the cantina, you see a droid kind of crouched there looking down towards the door, obviously waiting for something.
Oh God, can you see that depiction of like the female's fucking hut right there, right next to it?
Yep.
Oh God, it's got like an open front dress. Oh God.
Now,
Like everybody makes note of that, and like Europa almost throws up in her mouth. Like in her helmet, she's like, "Oh God, they don't make exits for these things." She kind of like has to like hurriedly like take off her helmet and just kind of bend over and like double over and just hold her mouth. Like, I was not ready for that. Thanks for pointing it out, asshole.
and so Malik, he's like, we should try to duck around the corner and see if it'll follow us and we can ambush it.
So basically, this thing, like, this is obviously not a real depiction of where you guys are at right now. But basically, you know, you guys are kind of exiting the speeder. Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
Bad GM moving the map around. God.
Yeah. It's all different layers and shit, so. So basically, you guys kind of, you know, exit this thing, and you see this thing is kind of scanning. You know, it's scanning the entrance. It's looking for the entrance. It's like doing like facial recognition at everybody that's going in and out, that sort of thing. And it's not aware of you as far as you know.
Okay.
Basically,
So-
like you're on the street. It's above you, kind of on a ledge. It has cover. You can get up to it. There's ways to get up there. There's like a ladder. You can climb up.
Is any one of us particularly stealthy? Is any one of us particularly stealthy, or do you want me and Jamina to take care of it, guys?
Malik can sneak up there, probably.
Well, let's have Malik actually sneak up there because, yeah.
Malik's like, oh, God. He's like, fine. And so does, like, any, do normal weapons have, like, ion shots, or do you have to have a special weapon for that?
I think you have to have special for that because there's an ion quality.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would be reasonable that you would probably have an ion grenade just because. I mean, you deal with droids all
I'm
the
fine
time.
with that.
So.
A lot of this is going to be RP, except for the stealth
Okay.
checks and stuff. So.
All right, so Malik's just like, wait here, I'll be back. And he starts making his way up to try to get above it.
As you go up, she says, kind of quietly to you, she says, "Slurm's a word if your safe word." She just kind of laughs.
And Malik just rolls his eyes. He's like, I wish I would have never told that damn story. So he tries to
So-
sneak up there.
You guys are kind of waiting down here, and Malik finds some ladder, and he goes ahead and climbs up, and he's starting to sneak up on this thing. And I'm gonna do.
Well, why not give him some bonuses from that triumph, maybe? It does know that we're not, or it's not noticed. That's the biggest
I'm
bonus.
down with that. So 3 purples and a blue as your difficulty.
Okay. Just let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Nice. Jesus Christ, at all those blanks. What the hell?
I know, it's weird.
All right, could you get any more blanks, Malik? God.
Probably. Shooting him.
All right. So you sneak up on this thing, and as far as you know, it's unaware of you. And I will note the threat. Where are you going?
So how far away am I from it?
Oh, you can sneak right up on it. This is you kind of sneaking up behind this thing.
I guess so. What kind of droid is this? Is it just like a...
It's something you haven't ever seen before. It kind of looks like IG-88, kind of upgraded a little bit just to make it newer for the.
Does it have weapons and stuff?
Does it have what?
The weapons?
Yeah. It looks like a hunter seeker, IG-88.
Okay,
type droid.
so I'm just going to drop an ion grenade right next to it as I kind of try to keep myself hidden and shut my eyes and turn away.
Gonna cause like a local power outage. Everybody who's like just riding a tram or something just dies.
So how do you do it?
I'm just going to like try to hide behind like this area over here and just kind of roll it towards just like behind it on the ground and look away.
So what happens is there's this droid kind of with his gaze looking down here, and it's there kind of looking. Its scanners are clicking. Every once in a while, a patron will come in and out, and you can see its head swiveling, and as it does like a facial recognition, and then it comes back to the door, and then Malik rolls at this grenade, and he goes click, clink, 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 and he just looks down at the feet, and he goes, "Oh no!" And it's and just blue electricity goes, and this thing just crumples, and this sign goes. This sign goes dark as well.
But the sign of the female stripper hut is very much still active. In fact, it even got brighter, and then like some passerbys just like kind of all throw up at the same time. just a random occurrence. It's just like it gets brighter, more vibrant. It's just like, oh god, it's just.
Malik,
So shortly thereafter, a couple bouncers kind of arrive at the door and go outside, and they look up the sign, and they're like, "Go tell Bigsy the sign's on the fritz again."
So Malik rushes over to the droid and kind of like pops open its the panel in the back of its head or whatever, and like pulls the circuitry out and tries to find the memory core and steals it.
Yep, you go ahead and you grab that. You can't read it or whatever.
Yeah,
you can't
yeah,
put it to use, but
Yep.
you just rip it out of its head. That's fine.
Okay. And then he returns to the others.
So you're back down here. Yeah.
He's like, let's go in now. That thing's not waking up.
Gee, what'd you do?
He looks at her and he's like, what do you think I did? Popped it with an ion grenade and pulled out its circuitry.
God, that's like murder, isn't it?
And he
She just kind of like...
Droid lives matter.
yeah. He's like, well, I mean, I guess, but he just like turns.
I'd watch out, R4. Your master's a droid killer, and she just kind of like laughs a little bit.
R4 kind of wheels on ahead, like like R2 is wont to do. He just like leads the way. And
Yes, I love R4.
Like knowing the right side to be on.
Yeah, he takes off too. Malik does.
So you guys go on into Big Z's Cantina, my favorite place ever that I've ever created.
Oh God.
I already have like a sneak peek because I came in with when he was doing this place.
It's much better.
Oh, you changed it. It was so funny when I came in. I was like, "What the fuck?"
As you walk into
Oh my God.
As you walk into the pampered Bantha Cantina, you're greeted by low light. Everything is shades of purples and blues. The air is heavy. The
Copyright. Copyright.
And as you enter and pass the bar on your right, you see a ramp that descends to your left. There, a violet-hued hut guarded by two droids is watching a young human female clad in blue and with a voice like ice. He watches as she dances, laughing his guttural laugh and groping if the young lass should tread too closely.
Oh boy.
Jaminos kind of just looks at him. He's like, which one should I kill first? I hate them both.
I don't know. I like her voice.
Pretty soon, one of the guards steps up to her. Suddenly, one of the guards levels a shotgun to her head and just blows her away. She's laying on the floor, and guards take her away. And he's like, ha, 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 ha.
Gee, that was... Europa was just sitting there like wide-eyed at this, like, gee, and I thought I was a badass.
Malik like grimaces and is immediately pissed off and just like starts walking towards the hut. And
right. Tess is right with him.
You can see this really bothered Jaminos. You know, he's all for killing people, but not in fucking cold blood.
Yeah. Malik yells at the hut. He's like, I knew your mother. She had better sense than that.
Eddie is like, his guards flank him, and he's like, "Whoa, I've been expecting you."
And he's like, "Is that right?"
And he says, "Malik Rezik, my late mother told me much about you. You served her well.
And she wasn't a freaking idiot like you appear to be."
He says something about, We all have our appetites. I'm just hut enough to serve my own.
Yeah, well, you'd have a fucking slim chance in hell trying that shit on me. That was disgusting, by the way.
Then
He
Malik
kinda goes
says,
on and-
and he like kind of like points to his bandolier, which has armor-piercing grenades, and he's like, the last hut that did shit like that ended up in 1,000 pieces.
He kind of looks at you and narrows his eyes and says, "Oh, Malik," he says, "your reputation precedes you." And he says, I know you mean business. I know what you did to, whatever that guy's name was back on.
Oh, God, I don't even remember his name.
Yeah, I forget his name, too.
Yeah.
The only one that was important in that story was Slurm, so it's okay.
Yeah, he's just no slurm.
He says something about, hey, he says, I don't want to cross you. You mean business, and you don't want to cross me. He says, I know about Slurm. I know you did him in, and I know you did in this other guy as well. So if you have business to talk about, let's get down to business.
Malik's like, fine. And he's like, why is the First Order having business here?
He says he has no clue about the First Order doing any business here. He says, do you have proof?
Do I?
You have that data core, that droid you just killed.
He's like, he plugs it into R4. He's like, process this, and then show the hut.
So R4 plugs this thing in, and there's basically a hologram of this that droid's kind of visual field. He's kind of scanning the door, and there's some kind of data there. There's static, and there's some other scenes of this droid kind of spying on the pampered bantha, which is Big Z's cantina, and that sort of thing. And the hut kind of waves his hand. He's like, I have lots of enemies. The First Order probably sends spies here all the time. He says, I fight with my own family. Why should I care about them when I'm making so much money?
You have a lot of reasons to care about the First Order, you fucking slug.
Malik's like, here's the thing. The First Order eventually will make your business very, very poor. They will come here. They will impound everything. They will steal your credits, and then you will not make anything. No more business for any hut. That I can guarantee.
And he seems to kind of consider your point. You have the data core with you. That's going to decrease your difficulty check by 1 for this next one. Mm-hmm. But you're going to have to convince him.
Yeah.
So how do you want to do that?
As a role, you mean?
You can try to coerce him. You can try to charm him. You can do whatever you guys think you're good at.
Yeah, I'm terrible at everything.
I'm going to state that Jaminos is looking very agitated, like he wants to murder this slug right here, right now. So he's just going to do everything he can not to participate. Otherwise, he will kill him.
We need him alive, unfortunately.
Well, I know. I'm just telling you that he crossed a major line right there.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't give two shits about the
you killed Elsa.
Killing in cold blood. Yeah, it's killing in cold blood. He can't stand. It's sickening to him.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try. God, I don't know. One of these checks I'm awful at. Negotiation sounds like to me.
Well, I mean, if we want more chance of success, I could always try to. Yeah, you could always be like, allow my associate to interject, and I could crack knuckles or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Cohesion is my only.
Where's the Rodian when we need him?
Yeah, no, cohesion is my only good social stat, other than charm.
I mean, if you want to go dark, you can. I mean, the droids, his guards aren't droids, but you can cut a droid in half or cut a guard.
Oh
in half.
no, no, I think
this guy has no respect for life, obviously. So he's going to be nothing but respect that.
Droids aren't alive. What are you?
No, they're not droids. They're like I don't know. He has Rhodian guards.
Yeah, she'll attempt. You gonna modify the checks or anything like that, or?
Yeah, who wants to do the check?
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna flip a light side actually,
All right.
just to get an upgrade. And have you set the difficulty?
Yeah, it's actually going to only be a 2 purples since you guys got that droid.
Oh well, shit. I didn't mean to waste it. I've already flipped it. It's whatever. Did you have the upgrade in there?
Upgrade is in.
Let's see that guy you're trying.
Oh.
So maybe it's so like Europa's been training real hard recently on her force move powers, and kind of as she obviously didn't look like a space or a Jedi before, but like when she stands before all of them, and she kind of stands in front of Malik as he's about to speak, and she says, "You're gonna do what he says, or you're going to make me very angry." And like chairs and tables around the room starts to lift up, and maybe even one of his droid guards lifts up, and like her eyes start to glow, like a purple almost, and so he can like see on her utility belt that there's like a big like double-handed hilt, and it's very obvious that she's making the appearance that she's some sort of lightsaber wielder with immense force powers, in this sense of reflecting her two force die, and and maybe he even starts to like lift up just a little bit,
A tiny bit.
like a very
It's like
a negligible bit. It's like he lifts up a little bit, and then
Folds of the hut lift.
oh god, his front folds lift up, and like a dead hooker falls out from. Just rolls out. It's like
Couple frogs
They had
fall
a
out.
facelift. They saw what was under there. They let it back down.
It's got to sound like that wet smacking thing of something getting pulled off. It's like.
but yeah, no, man. Like the room happens like that, and you can decorate the triumph however you want, like that. But that's that happens.
so. I think you kind of impressed this guy enough. He was a pretty tough cookie, but he caves at this point. The guards start to levitate a little bit. The chairs start to levitate a little bit, and that sort of thing. And like, we've all seen there's like a scratching record, and there's a Force theme starts, and that's not the right Force theme, but the Yoda theme, and everything starts to levitate, and like Europa's standing there in the middle, and Big Z just kind of starts to hold on to his dais. And he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" He's like, Stop. He's like, anything you want. Credits, ships, whatever it is. It's yours.
Malik wants the fastest ship you've got. And like I break something in the background, and like he says, and your full cooperation.
And he's like, he nods. He's like, "Oh yeah, fast ships. We have lots of fast ships. I don't know how many, but we'll get you something."
Yeah, and everything just comes clattering down around you and around us, and maybe even the lights went out or some shit, like some creepy Force shit like that, like the Darth Vader scene in Rogue One where the lights went out and stuff like that. And she just kind of like turns off her inner dark side and looks at Malik and is like, "There, wasn't too hard, was it?" It's like, "You're up, General."
Malik says, "Look, He's like, this is simple. We need the support of the Hutts, the Hutt Council, and their full military and financial backing for the resistance. It's time for war against the First Order. Or your way of life will come to an end, just like everyone else's.
So you kind of have them convinced, but it's out of a kind of a duty of self-preservation rather than,
that's fine.
Whatever. But he is compliant, so he goes ahead and he slaps one of the droids and says, "Bring me my comm link," and he stomps off and comes back, and Bigsy kind of gets on the comm link and starts talking in Huttese and giving orders to somebody, and he says something like, "You will have your ships." He says, "You will have your credits." And he says, "But he says parts of my family are being a little obstructionist. It's going to take some time."
Jaminos walks over the crumpled corpse of the girl, or burnt corpse rather, and just kind of stands up to him at his full height and looks him as close to the eye as he can. He's like, "If you back out on this, slug, the full power of the Mandalorian fleet will be here to bomb your little shithole to the ground."
Malik looks at Geminis and he says, "I think a garrison of Mandalorian troops here wouldn't be a bad idea until this deal goes through. What do you think?"
Excellent idea. And he immediately switches off his comm and starts speaking something that he has relayed through the ship and back to Mandalore.
And the Hutt kind of is like, he's seriously honest now. He's like, you're going to have your help. It's going to take a little more time. And he gives you the background. He spills the beans about, he obviously doesn't own up to any murder or anything, but he says that, he's one of several bosses right now, and that he's going to have to pull some strings, and that your ships are going to come, but it just can't be immediate.
And Malik's like, "That's fine. We're going to have the Mandalorians here for your safety."
He just kind of gives that.
Kind of looks up at him again, and he's just like, "Trust but verify."
We're the government. We're here to protect you.
All right. So just then, your comlink actually goes off, and it's the comlink on Tessa's side. Let's see here. Let me move this stuff out of the way. So Tessa's comlink goes off, and I'm assuming she's going to answer it.
She is?
Maybe.
Yes, she does.
Okay. So you hear a voice. It's vaguely Brazilian. Where are you?
A Brazilian hamster.
I don't know how to do Brazilian accent. It sounds kind of cliche Asian, but where are you? What are you doing? Are you still on Nar Shaddaa?
Tess kind of looks around and says, "You wouldn't believe me if I told you, but yes, we're still here."
And he says, "What would I not believe?"
And she just kind of looks around again at Bigsy's establishment. Says, "Long story, Master Kerrigs. What is it?"
And in the background, you hear this kind of like a Luke Skywalker sounding voice. Hey, tell my dad I said hi. So Kerrigs just kind of continues and just ignores him. And he says, "We are just outside the mall, investigating an artifact of interest. Unfortunately, part of our recent objective has been stolen. All investigations lead to Nar Shaddaa. In other words, there's a shadow group that's made off with the rest of this artifact. We don't know who they're selling them to, but it's probably the highest bidder. Our guess would be the First Order or someone even more sinister. If we should ever be able to figure this out, if we should ever be able to figure out this mystery, we need that artifact. Find the seller and bring it home."
So we weren't there. What does this artifact look like, Master Carrix?
And he describes basically like a half of a holocron.
Okay, so all right. Well, Tess would tell him that we'll do what we can. We'll try and find it and who has it.
All right. And then the Carrick says, "May the force be with you." And he says, "And please keep your team in line."
Yeah. Good luck. She responds to the "May the force be with you" and with you.
All right. Beep beep. Hangs up. And Tess relays to the group.
Indeed.
You guys step outside, I'm guessing?
I was going to try to get Bigsby to tell us where it is. If he knows where it is.
Okay. So what are you going to say to him?
So Malik looks at the hut and says, "We have one other thing before we go. And that is there is something being sold on Nar Shaddaa that we need to get our hands on. It's a Jedi holocron."
And he just goes, Jedi holocron, and he says something about, "I haven't heard of anything like that passing through here, but this is Nar Shaddaa. You never know what you're going to come across." And he said, "You have my ships and my help." And he says, "All of my resources are at your disposal as well. But you're going to have to do this investigation." And he says he doesn't have any knowledge about it. And you get the sense that he's telling the truth.
And Malik just kind of nods and looks at R4 and he's like, "Let's go." And he departs.
All right. Got a screen wipe. So there's a cutscene.
Fucking Thrawn!
This time you do not see a...
Shit.
Oh, you weren't even... Were you playing when Thrawn was involved earlier?
No, but
No,
fucking
but
A.
I'm no fool when Thrawn's involved.
We got our ass kicked.
You guys they got their ass handed to them by Thrawn. That's like one of the only times you guys have lost, right? I mean, I'm thinking of.
I think there's been more than once, but yeah.
Well, it's thematic because I watched that video and fuck, you guys got fucked up, and Thrawn's no fucking joke in the story. He's not.
So there's a cutscene, and this time you don't see a shadowy figure bowing to the monstrosity of Snoke. Instead, you see Snoke on his throne, surrounded by electronics. Soon, a blue hologram of Grand Admiral Thrawn appears before him. "Greetings, Thrawn," says Snoke. "How may I be of service, Supreme Leader?" "I would like you to expand and reinforce your defenses of the Maul Cluster," Snoke says, leaning forward. "It's becoming more and more clear to me that our end interests lie there." "As you wish, Supreme Leader," says Thrawn. "I will make it so." "But there is more," continues Snoke. His words hang hard and electronic over the transmission. "Our spies tell us that the resistance is desperate. So desperate even that they seek an ally in the Hutts." Thrawn just kind of sniffs like he doesn't respect those slime balls at all. "Send a token force to their new seat of power on Nar Shaddaa. Take Enigma team with you." He clenches his fist. "The Hutts are worms. In the end, they respect only might. Show them that they have not fallen outside of the all-seeing eye of the Supreme Leader." There's mournful laughter as the scene fades away.
way too long and is like overbearing and super awkward, but it's full maniacal laughter. It's like just like stupidly long, and there's even like a fade out to black, and it's still laughing in the background, and then it abruptly turns back to the scene. No, I'm kidding.
Fades back in, still laughing. Fades back in.
And fucking like we come into the rest of us, and like
it blends into the hut laughing.
Yeah. Now that's more my speed right there. That image. Mm-hmm.
So you guys kind of step outside Bigsy's, like on the back entrance. You're out in an alleyway, and I'm actually going to use kind of a modified the investigation rules from that bounty hunter source book, which is awesome, by the way.
Really, you have the bounty hunter source book? I'm gonna have to.
Somebody does on PDF, but
I have it on PDF. It's not a very good copy, but I do have it.
I am interested in a copy, but we'll speak about. I'll have to purchase it from you.
So you guys head out. You gotta investigate kind of according to your own ingenuity. So what do you want to do? What leads do you want to track down? Do you want to hit the streets, look for information? The hut obviously doesn't know much, but if he might be able to give you resources if you need them, that sort of thing.
Mac leaves this up to the others.
I think Europa just kind of looks over at Tess and it's like, well, do you have any idea where it might be? You're the expert in all things Jedi.
Tess kind of grimaces at that.
Jamil wiggles his fingers mystically.
Twirls it beside his temple in the universal sign against madness. Yeah, we will try the old foresee. See what we foresee. Really, we need seek or something for this, but
Seek would be the power.
Yeah, foresee can be I think useful enough. I think get a little bit.
How many ranks in foresee do you have? Just a one. It's a narrative power anyway, other than
it's you're stuck, you know.
I can't find character. What?
Yeah, I guess I need a token, maybe, to...
That doesn't make sense. We roll without tokens all the time.
That's true.
Might have to manually roll it. Just put it in the
Probably easier that way. I'm trying to troubleshoot so we'll just do that.
Something you might want to do later on, Bo, like after the game, maybe is reload the API.
Yeah. One light, at least you can activate it, right?
Yep. So yeah, that gets us hints of events to come.
Right. So basically, as you guys step outside, Tess opens herself up to the force, and she feels the kind of the humming hive of activity around her. And there's some heroes on Nar Shaddaa, but it's basically a huge hive of scum and villainy. And she senses all the sorrow and sadness and that sort of thing. And then, her senses even fly up into the skyscrapers where there's the wealthy up there making deals. And she gets a vague sense of pieces moving on a chessboard, that sort of thing. She gets vague hints of she sees first order spies kind of doing some deals. She sees representatives of somebody you guys are familiar with, of Kanji Club on the planet, and they're trying to track down something, and they're trying to find a seller for something, looking for the highest bidder maybe. And then there's some huts involved. You see some hut faces. You see another gentleman who is very dangerous looking, scarred face, has armor on. It's not Mandalorian armor, but this guy named Business, and you see him involved as well. But basically you see the holocron looking thing, and you see it go into a briefcase and shut, and it's somebody that looks like they're from Kanji Club.
Tell that to Conja Club.
So Tess kind of staggers, and puts a hand on the wall for a second to steady herself, shakes her head a bit. I see the holocron. We've got to find Kanji Club. Kanji Club has the holocron.
What the hell's a kanji club? She just says out loud to everybody.
This Oriental-looking character beside walking past her says, "We are Kanji Club."
I don't think Chris and Rivers were playing when you guys had run in with them.
Malik's like, there's some gang that we've crossed in the past.
Old friends or something?
He's like, no, not at all.
I'm hardly afraid of any little gang, especially with a name that wimpy.
Malik just shrugs, and he's like, either way, we gotta find him.
Well, it sounds like we need to find him fast, whatever it is.
Streetwise, knowledge, underworld, whatever you suggest. Try to find these guys.
Not particularly good at any of this shit.
What about Jaminos? You got any of those skills?
I'm looking right now. That's all like cunning and shit. I'm not very smart.
Cunning?
Best I can do is like. Well, no, I'm saying that's all cunning stuff. I don't. That's not my build.
Oh, maybe we could use our hut. I mean, he'd undoubtedly know about the planet. We could just be like, hey, could you tell us where these guys might hang out, or ask for his resources or his data banks?
Yeah, you can use the hut, and if you go back to him, it'll kind of like direct you to where these guys hang out, or at least the group that he knows about. And so you kind of go ahead and track them down, and you head into their headquarters or locate them. And they have an above. Not only are they kind of underground, but they have kind of a legit arm to them as well. So they have like storefronts and that sort of thing. Think kind of mafia.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say this is one of their storefronts, and you guys walk up, and they're selling, just drinks, and one of these guys says, "How can I help you?"
Europa is just kind of looking at the general.
Malik rubs his chin and kind of steps forward and leans against the bar, and he's like, looking to spend some real credits. Want some real exotic stuff.
He says, just how exotic are you looking for? And he just hands you a menu with like cocktails on it.
And Malik just kind of looks at it and tosses it on the ground, and he's like, I need a meeting, and not with the bartender.
All right. What are you gonna do? You gonna coerce? How you wanna get this guy to talk?
And he looks at Europa and he's like, make him understand.
And, Europa just kind of rolls her neck, and there's an audible pop as the vertebra in her neck just kind of crackle all in kind of in order, crack, 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 and then a big thump. And she will attempt to scare this dude.
All right.
Do you have the difficulty set?
I do. We're going to do 2 purples and a red. I used a dark side point to upgrade it.
Yeah, okay. I'll roll. Oh, 2 advantage.
Fail 2 advantage.
Fail to advantage. Shit.
So this guy, like, he sees you, roll your neck, that sort of thing, and they're used to seeing a lot of tough guys around these parts. And he says, "I'm sorry, I can't help you. It's time to close up shop." And they just shut the storefront, and right now it's kind of nighttime on Nar Shaddaa. It's always dark there, but it's just like some of the neons even starting to shut down, that sort of thing. It's getting like really late in the night, and it was like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Malik looks at R4 and he's like, "Open the door, we're going in."
Europa just kind of, as the door shuts in her face, she's just like, she just shrugs. She's like, well, that didn't exactly go as planned. I guess I'm not as intimidating as I thought I would look in this armor. Maybe I should paint it all black and have like a skull face on the front. Yeah, I like that.
Malik's like,
believe it or not, Phil.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. I was just
Malik was gonna say, I was more intimidated of you with your tattoos than armor, and he just like shrugs.
Some people actually like the tattoos. I'm a big fan of them myself. I mean, they are my tattoos and all.
He's like, He's like, R4, open the door.
R4 kind of beeves, like he's like pretty scared to do this.
Yeah, Europa just kind of does like the ladies first thing to Jamino's, like,
Jamino's he just kind of shrugs like whatever and walks right through.
All right. So reluctantly, R4 kind of goes up to the security door, slices it open, and you kind of go into this like kind of a high-rise type of thing. And there's hallway after hallway, and it's kind of dark and dingy. You hear music in the distance, and I'm gonna take a leak. So 5-minute break.
Sweet.
Hang on.
This here, the picture I'm about to link you guys. One second. This guy's an actual member of my club.
Nice.
So there's your skull-looking armor, and that's all officially Mando. Oh, did you get that link I sent you, Rivers?
Oh, I just seen it. Did you get that thing I sent you?
That thing with the guy.
That's something that I always envision Rob saying to me. Did you get the thing I sent you?
It's Dave. I've got the stuff.
That's hilarious. So, how's the kid?
Good. He's asleep. I've been putting him to sleep later, so that seems to be the answer so far, knock on wood.
Well, hopefully he's getting better, because the last time I heard about him, he was getting, like, sick or something, or...
No, I don't think he was sick. He was just waking up in the middle of the night, like 4 a.m., or it was like 4 or 5 a.m. for like a week straight. It was like a week and a half ago. But
Poor guy.
yeah, I think it was just he didn't need as much sleep, so we were putting him to bed at like 6:30. He was just waking up too early, so putting him to bed.
Or maybe it just has to deal with him getting older or something.
Yeah, he probably just needs less sleep.
All right, is everybody here?
None of us left, Bo.
Just me and my enlarged prostate.
I pissed too.
Well, I don't have that problem yet.
You just need to get your prostate
Examined
fingered every once in a while, and it's all good.
I'm not really into guys fingering me, but
I did not say guys. I just said.
Well, that's what you insinuated.
Mm-hmm. Slurm.
Oh god, that's disgusting.
Sausage
Just gonna
slurm.
just gonna slurm right up in there.
So you guys failed that last check, but just went ahead and cut your way in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking about having Europa get angry but I like R4's way a little bit more. I was just gonna lightsaber the door, but like the blade just goes through the fucking shop screen and just cuts its way through. That's fucking intimidating, if you ask me. It's like we're closing up shop. No, you're not. Here's Johnny.
Minos just looks at her like, I'm proud of you.
So you guys walk into this thing and you get 5-10 meters inside the first hallway, and you hear just kind of like behind you, you hear that it's almost like an echo of what Malik did to that poor droid. Behind you guys, you hear just tink, 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 as something is rolled your way, and all of a sudden there's this blinding light. It's not loud, but just blinding light and like just a force like a blast of energy towards you guys. And basically, when I roll a ranged light against each of you guys, as someone that has been watching you and has rolled in something behind you. So let's find this guy.
Oh, guys, just to let you know, Oxdude did a update to his thing, so you should re-download the newest version.
Yeah, I've got 2.0. Or 2 point something or other.
It doesn't automatically do it.
No.
It usually does.
Yeah, it's a 2.0.1.
It changes the font, everything.
I haven't updated mine at all.
Well, it adds a bunch of really nice shit.
Yeah.
It added a bunch of Jedi shit, too.
I'm pretty sure I've got to rebuild Europa to add the martial artist tree, because that fucking tree's badass.
All right. Who wants to go first? So R4 is going to be left out of this. We'll just go left to right. So Malik first. What's your defense? Range defense?
I believe it's 1.
1?
Mm-hmm.
And this is where armor starts to make a difference.
Miss.
Miss, but triumph, 3 advantage.
That doesn't mean anything on a miss.
A triumph still does.
It still doesn't hit him.
No, it still doesn't hit him. So what am I going to do with that triumph? Probably just at least knock you prone.
It's fine.
Yep, so you're just kind of thrown against this wall. Wait here. Let's see. I didn't add the purples in, but I guess it wouldn't matter.
Test out my new toys.
I should have added the purples.
Oh, that's right. You didn't even have purples.
I didn't have the purples.
Yeah,
Okay.
make sure you didn't get any advantage. Just roll those separately, I would say, yeah.
So just cancel out to
1 advantage and 1.
to the advantage. Yeah, so
1
that's fine,
advantage
whatever.
and give him some threat.
Yeah. Yeah, so it messes you. So you're just knocked against the wall. You're knocked prone. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And who's up next? Tess? What's your defense ranged?
2.
All right. So basically, what happens here is hit 5, 6, 7. So you take 7 strain. It's all stun damage. All right. And then you need to make a hard resilience check, or you're going to be incapacitated until the end of the encounter. It's basically using the knockout mine. It's a knockout mine.
Try. You should flip a destiny point, maybe. We don't want to lose your person for our entire encounter if we don't have to.
So your resilience is set. And actually, I'm going to use that triumph just to upgrade that once.
So maybe not use it. Like,
Yeah, might not matter. Depending.
Resilience. This isn't going to go well.
oh, despair. Ooh.
Didn't need the 2 force dice.
I'm going to give myself a setback next check I make on Europa.
Okay.
But basically, you are, boom, knocked out. You're thrown against the wall. You hit your head. You lose consciousness. What do you want to do with the despair? I think that I'm just maybe going to crit you.
I wouldn't do crit damage because that's weird.
Yeah, it's not really thematic. But so what would you think would be appropriate?
Well,
How's this?
does she get a chance to wake up?
At the end of the encounter. But how about for some measure of this session, your eyes are just kind of blinded.
Okay.
Just narratively. That'd be good. I mean, kind of forcey, you know?
Stare directly at it.
Yeah, you looked at this thing, and like you looked at this thing, you maybe tried to like block the others. Maybe you jumped in front of Malik so he didn't take it, and you just took this thing like right in your face. How's that sound?
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, so your Jedi reflexes, like Malik looked at it, you looked at it, Jedi reflexes kicked in, you jump towards this mine, and it goes off, and you take the full brunt of it. And because of this, Europa is going to get setback on his. So it's going to be. And Europa, what's your defense?
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
My defense is 2, I think. Yeah, 2.
So it's going to be 2 purples, 3 blacks. Ooh. 5, 8 strain.
That's fine.
And as far as the triumph goes,
Damn, you're rolling a triumph every
Damn,
time.
you're triumphing the hell off of us. Yeah.
as far as the triumph goes, what do you think?
I don't know. Up to you.
Let's just do.
Maybe lesser blindness for the next X amount of rounds.
Well, no, it would have to be a specific, because it's combat, so there'd have to be a specific thing to it.
Drops a weapon, the wielding, that's fine. Your
I
lightsaber's
wasn't wielding anything.
No. Destroy a piece of equipment. Carry, that's 2. Okay, just negate target's bonuses until end of round. So just
Okay.
say next round, no defense. You're kind of off guard.
You mean this round?
Yeah, it's not going to matter much. But you have to do that that resilience check as well, since you got hit by it.
Okay, and I am going to commit both my force die to this. Or both my force die to this action, anyway.
All right, difficulty is set. Flying colors, anyway.
Wow.
Can I use that triumph to recover some strain? Let's look at what the actions do.
Yeah, you can use it to recover strain.
See what a triumph does. I'll use the advantage to recover one strain, and I will just with it. Actually, no. I'll ignore the negative that I'm taking. So ignore the environmental penalties that happen.
Okay, so you get back your defense.
Yeah, because not having my defense is pretty disgusting.
All right, who's up next? Chris?
It'd be me. I've got a defensive 3.
All right. So 6 strain. And with a 3 advantage,
Okay.
I'm going to I'll just give myself a boost on next round. Next round, he goes after this little surprise attack. That's it. So you got hit, so you have to do that resilience check as well. All right, difficulty set. Oh wow! You pass, and you have 4.
I don't have any negatives on there.
There you go. I didn't click out of it. I'll just roll it separate, okay?
Yeah, separate would just be fine. There's no need to re-roll his roll because it's good.
Yeah. So
it's 2 failures, so you don't pass.
So you're knocked out. So you're knocked out, but you can I know these knockout mines are tough.
Well, that's the actual rules for the fucking knockout shit. You can do that on anyone. So
yeah. So who's awake still? Europa?
Me.
Malik.
Yeah.
Europa and Malik.
Europa, Malik. And with those 4 advantage, though, you can take back some of that strain if you want.
You can cover all your strain pretty much, I think, because it's one. How much strain did you take?
6. You could recover 4 of it.
Okay, so yeah, you take 2 strain. That's like into the encounter. Oh, R4's up as well. Yeah, because I mean it's a knockout grenade. Don't worry, I'll save the day.
Yeah, R4 is still awake. So, all right, so do that, and then I'm gonna do. Let me make sure that our turn order is reset. Clear, and you guys roll vigilance. I will roll cool.
Okay.
The thing that sucks is not being able to roll against it to try and recover back into the fight.
You did. You rolled a resilience.
Yeah, but you get a once and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. This system is very thematic. Like, so I don't have any blacks, right? Either way, I have a 2-3 or 23.
Yeah. 2-3, 2-3, 2-2. All right, so PC's up first. So
I'm
you guys
gonna fucking murder this whatever just threw that grenade.
Yep. So you see, you guys step into this hallway, right? This thing kind of like is thrown down behind you. It explodes. This all happens within an instant. Tess jumps in front of Malik, takes the brunt of it, is like thrown down. Jaminos as well kind of turns around, gets it in the face, and just is knocked out. And Europa and Malik are in rough shape as well, and R4 is kind of beeping. And as you turn around, like across the street, maybe like 2 range bands up on a ledge, you see this guy here.
Well, he's gonna die a horrible death.
He's up there, and you see him just like, his arm is just like he's just kind of tossed something, and he has like a big rifle kind of over the ledge of this.
Okay, well, is it my turn?
Absolutely.
Okay, start a new round. I will. Okay, so I am going to take some conflict here, Bo. And I will use a destiny point, or destiny pool point, to flip. So I can make it there in 1 turn. To flip that to black die. So it will be however much conflict you think I have to. So Europa uses the dark side of the force and gets even more angry than what she was before. And flips that 2 force die instead of the 1 to make them light side, and she jumps right next to him.
So this lightsaber comes out.
Yeah, it comes out immediately after the thing happens, and then she just jumps from the hallway up on top of, launches herself up on top of the rooftop. Before she jumps, she shouts back at Malik, and she says, "Get him up!" And
so these bystanders, like some of these bystanders are knocked down too. They kind of stand up, and they're shielding their eyes, and they hear that lightsaber ignite, just. And they kind of look up and they see Europa just sweep up on
and the purple blades streak across the sky as she's flipping, and the guy who just threw that grenade is probably just shit himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to strike him in the same turn. I will spend strain to aim.
All right, you get a boost. It's defense of 1. And adversary, let me see what his adversary is. I forget. 2. All right. So upgrade it twice. All right, so you get a boost, and you're against 2 reds and a black.
Okay. Alright. So that is... I'm going to spend 2 of that advantage to activate linked, so I will hit him twice.
Ooh.
And I will also crit him while I do it.
All right.
So I hit him twice for... I hit him twice for 2 damage, and I crit him. I hit him twice for 9 damage, and I crit him at the end with breach, obviously.
And just as the Obi-Wan and Maul fight was very quick, this guy looks up. What happens to him?
Actually, I think I'm not going to kill him. What happens is I stick my lightsaber in through his gut, and I hold it there for a while, and I push him off towards the edge, and I grab his collar. There's nobody else around, right?
Yeah, there's some bystanders that are down the street, so they have a pretty poor view of you right now, actually.
Yeah, and Europa swings it out wide from his side, and it creates a huge gash, and it's just not a middle of the gut. It's like the right above it is like hip bone, and it like leaves this huge gash. And she grabs him by his collar, and she just force jumps back and throws him in the doorway next to Malik. He's still alive. You can choose to kill someone or not, but he will have to roll critical. He is not dead. He would be just above death.
Let me roll a crit.
Lightsaber appendectomy.
I like it. Appropriate. So this guy
he just gets flung into the doorway. So that's where most of his damage comes in. Like he gets stunned by the lightsaber, basically, like stabbing him, and then most of his damage just gets like when he gets flung across the street into the doorway, and he like lands in the doorway and slides down the middle of the alleyway, and he like lands right next to Tess and all the group of people basically in the shop doorway.
So Tess and Jaminos are there, and they're like starting to regain consciousness. R4 is there, like kind of glaring down at this guy and shocks him.
Yeah, and Europa is just walking up, her lightsaber ignited through the knockout gas smoke towards you guys. Being ominous and shit like that. It's obvious that to Tess it would be like dark side energies are just like flowing all over Europa. Was that
actually gas?
It would actually be like sensory overload is what the knockout thing is. It's supposed to encompass. If it's supposed to be sensory overload because it would work on all forms of armor. That's what the knockout.
It'd be like a flashbang is more akin.
Yeah, okay, like a super flashbang.
It would have been a different.
Right. Well, I mean, the rules say it actually does knock you out. Like, I know this because a buddy of mine used it in his game, and we all got fucking destroyed by that damn thing.
I think
those things are pretty expensive too.
Yeah, this guy's I'd change some things with the encounter to make it go quicker, but he's pretty tough overall.
Is like the combat order done and all that stuff?
Yeah, we're done.
Oh, he would be dead if I wanted him.
Yeah. So Malik basically gets to his knees and like shakes his head, walks over, puts his foot on the guy's chest, and like puts the barrel of his rifle right on his forehead and kind of pushes down to make it uncomfortable. And he's like, "Who sent you?"
And he's kind of spitting up some like dark blood and got in and out of consciousness, and sweat's beating up on this guy's head. And he's like, he kind of spills the beans. He kind of says that he's from the First Order and that he's already set up, he's set up a meeting with so-and-so from Kanji Club to actually buy this artifact.
Malik says, "Where's the meeting and when?"
He's like, "Let me go free, and I shall tell you."
Well, I have exactly a place you'll be going. And Europa says this as like her lightsaber still kind of trained on him, but she's like taking Jaminos' helmet off and is like slapping his cheek. He's like, "Hey, prince that was promised, wake up. Rise and shine, sleeping beauty."
Malik
his
looks
eyes
at
don't wake up or open, but the loud swearing obviously shows that he is indeed awake.
Yeah, and after that, Europa will look over at Tess if she's still stirring or she's just knocked the fuck out.
Tess is stirring around a little bit, obviously pretty shaken up.
Malik says to the guy, he's like, "That's a bad idea. I think you should tell us now, or I'm gonna let her have you." And he nods to Europa, obviously.
He's like, "Whatever you can do for me, believe me, it's not as bad as the First Order." And then he looks at like the lightsaber and he kind of mistakes for Jedi. And he's like, "Besides, the time of the Jedi is gone."
Good thing I'm not a Jedi.
And his eyes start to go wide.
And like, it's very obvious that Europa is like full on dark side right now. She's like reverted back to her old self. She's pretty freaky deaky.
What's Tess doing about all this?
She's pretty shaken up. She's still sort of trying to get her
Tess
feet
is like,
under
oh,
her.
I don't notice this bad stuff going on. All right, so that's enough to scare the shit out of this guy. And as Europa kind of closes on him and he feels the heat of that lightsaber, you notice like there's just like a puddle of urine spreading from beneath this guy. And
And with that, my lightsaber cuts off, and she says, besides, it's not my right to take your life. The guy that's on the ground right now is going to have that honor. He's the Mandalore after all.
Jamios just kind of rises like a giant fucking monster. He looms over him and kind of just pulls out his sidearm. It's like, talk.
all right, so he says, in my right pocket, there's a data pad. And he's like on there. He relays the coordinates of some meeting. He says basically he was supposed to take a speeder to the industrial sector and was going to be given additional instructions by Kanji Club on where to go from there to meet somebody to buy this holocron. So yeah, he spills the beans. He says, here's where I'm supposed to go. I was supposed to go to these coordinates and wait further instructions. Here, take that data pad. Just leave me alive. Just leave me alive. I have wife and children, all this stuff. He kind of starts to blubber and breaks down.
Malik kind of like rolls his eyes and he's like, "You're going to be a prisoner of the resistance." He like turns him over and basically throws binders on him.
All right, so he just kind of grimaces like, ah! And you guys take this data pad and look at it, and it seems fairly legit. It's like really late. It's like 3 or 4 in the morning their time. So punching ensues. Absolutely.
Tess just has like a bottle of chips or a little. No, they're like Pringles. They're like Pringles. she produces a can of chips that are like Pringles, and she's just munching on them. Like she just has like the worst like munchies ever.
Yeah, I'm really hungry.
That's what that despair was. She's just high as shit from the gas. She's like, "Whoa, dude!"
All right. So basically, okay. Yeah. So Malik runs to the speeder, I guess, after he kneels next to Tess and helps her to her feet, and he's like, "Are you all right?"
And Tess is getting a little more stable on her feet now. I'm okay, Malik. Thank you.
And he passes her a stim pack. Or is she actually injured or just strained?
Oh, well, strain will recover between encounters, really.
Mm-hmm.
The thing you need to worry about is if you take wounds. That's the thing that doesn't really recover fast at all.
Mm-hmm.
You need a doctor for that shit. But, I mean, there are talents that you can take to make your strain recovery, like, almost instantaneous, even in combat. So...
But yeah, you're kind of you have time to regain your senses, and so does Mandalore.
Yeah, he's very quiet, and that's not a good sign. He's just kind of lurking in a corner, obviously ashamed of being knocked out by a cheap trick.
Hell, I mean, that cost him a pretty penny, and it didn't work. So...
Yeah, but he's Mandalore. He shouldn't be so careless, is the way how he looks at it.
You can chalk it up to I'm a Jedi anyway, so like
Malik looks at you two and he's like, "Don't worry." He's like, "This guy will give good intel, but right now we
Yeah.
got to get going."
let's do it. It's like Malik, are you fit to drive this damn thing? And she like thinks back to like when she was on the planet. She's like, I really can't drive these pieces of shit.
Malik just
I
waves.
hate flying.
Malik's like, "Tesser, I will be fine." He's like, "Just get her on board. I'll do it."
Yeah, and she obviously helps Tess on board, and she like manhandles the prisoner, and barely. She like sticks a fucking stem in his throat, and just to keep him alive, kind of thing. Because I did stab him with a fucking lightsaber, but you know.
So there's all these speeders kind of lined up there on the street, and there's like obviously there's one that may have belonged to the assailant. There's a bunch of other ones that are kind of like available for you guys. And
Can we can we do the like the could we do like the
Grand Theft Auto.
no, even better. It would be like he has like a clicker, like a car alarm clicker, like a doot.
Oh yes,
Then like
absolutely. So you you do this thing like the data pad is in his right pocket, in the left pocket are like these like keys equivalent, and you click it and it's this beep beep. And just think it's like a larger kind of air speeder, kind of like in like episode 1 or episode 2. I think it's a 2. Yeah, 2. 2 that that Coruscant chase. So.
Okay.
She goes, I'll hop into the speeder and go ahead and take off, huh?
That is the point.
So you guys, you leave this kind of busy area of Nar Shaddaa, and you head out kind of into the boonies, kind of more of an industrial sector. You go to meet your contact. It's always seems like night on Nar Shaddaa, but like right now, it's the real planetary night, like I said, and everything is cast in black. And it's as you leave this, entertainment area, like the stuff that's highlighted by the neon signs kind of fades away as you speed past everything. This place, your contact kind of has led you to, is certainly not a nice neighborhood. Everybody you pass looks a lot rougher. Up ahead, like there's smokestacks and that sort of thing rising on all sides of you. There's like exhaust and arcs of electric energy kind of discharge across the sky every once in a while. And eventually you kind of come near your coordinates. And as you start to slow down, you kind of get instructions and say, is this Enigma?
And Malik looks back to the prisoner and points his gun at him, and he's like trying to get him to tell. Basically, we have the comm system off, and he's like, "Is that right?"
And he goes, yeah. Do you want me to talk? You want me to talk to this guy?
And Malik just hits him with the butt, like pistol whips him, basically, and flips the comm back on and says, "Yes, it's us, or it's me." Says.
And he's like, okay. He's like, hi. He's like, this is Enigma. Sorry for the voice. Had a rough night. Had a bit of a run-in with a few street toughs. Where to? And the voice on the other line says, "Are you alone?" He's like, "Absolutely, I'm alone, as promised. No one's with me." He's like, "Are you sure?" And he says, "Absolutely alone." And he goes, "Very well." And he goes, The new coordinates are going to be transmitted to your data pad directly. See you in, half hour or so. And so you guys look down at this data pad, and there's actually a new set of coordinates, and you kind of go there. And basically, this kind of charade repeats itself 2 or 3 times, and eventually you kind of end up in this like really remote area. And up ahead, you see another speeder just kind of waiting for you.
Can we send the coordinates to Mox?
Yes. With a destiny point.
I don't know that we necessarily need to. Nah.
As you approach this other vehicle, it's very dark outside, and you hear a loudspeaker overhead say, "Enigma!" He says, "Pull up here. Identify yourself."
Then we pull up. And Malik, so do they want us to get out? Or?
Nope, they just want you to pull up.
So we do, and Malik's like, be prepared to try to disable their speeder if they try to run.
So you guys pull forward and inch closer and closer and closer, and eventually you hear, unfortunately, in the distance, something that's very odd in this situation.
Fucking coppers.
All of a sudden, the speeder in front of you, you can see like there's 3 guys in the cockpit, and there's one guy in the middle that seems to be in charge, and the 2 guys on either side of them, you see the silhouette of pistols being raised up, and they blast the guy in the middle, and that car does an about face and starts to take off. So that's speeding away from you, and then behind you, you see these like almost like police speeders just fall in behind you, and they're after you now too. And R4 just starts to beep like, "What the fuck is going on?"
It's a sting.
Malik, are you back, Rob?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I was going to tell her to take over. And does this speeder have guns?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Well, she's probably the best at planetary.
Well, but she can't see. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit.
Well, let me see.
Malik can drive. Oh, I'm good at driving.
Hey,
I'm just not as
use the
surprised
force. Use the force test. It's what the destiny to see.
We're gonna let the blind girl pilot. Yep.
Okay, sure.
What's your
the destiny point and see through the force? I'll even give you a boost die. Just so it's so cool. That
what is your
powers.
piloting planetary?
Hang on, almost back to the.
Yeah, no problem.
Planetary is 5 green. Remove 1 setback.
So I'm actually a little better because I have 4 green, 1 yellow. But my kind of idea was to shoot from the speeder and try to disable them with my rifle. I don't know.
Right. So I kind of modified some of the chase rules on this, and so basically, you have kind of 2 police cars behind you, and then your quarry, you have the artifact kind of speeder, 2 range bands ahead of you, or 3 range bands. I'm sorry. And if you fire on somebody, you can target somebody else in the speeder. The difficulty is just going to be 3 purple, 1 red, and a setback. Okay. If you roll a triumph on any of these, like piloting checks I'll make you do, you can kind of swerve around, make the police wreck. And if you somehow get into the same vehicle as an enemy, any attack checks against them are automatically, succeed and you kill them. If for some reason you get to the same range band area to jump from vehicle to vehicle, there's a difficulty for that as well.
Cool.
Could totally pull it
finally to him
on something piloting checks.
Yeah. So in order for any of your party to be able to act against another vehicle, you're going to need to gain the advantage on that vehicle. So basically that's kind of starts, if you're the same speed, it's going to be like a 2 purple, right? And then to gain the advantage back on you is 3 purple when it kind of escalates from there.
All right.
Mox looks at Tess and he's like, "Can you fly this thing? They're gonna need my rifle."
And Tess is kind of feeling around at the controls. Yeah, I got this.
Use the force.
Cannot believe we're trusting a fucking blind girl to
Use the force.
What could
Tess.
possibly go wrong? Okay, so flip a light side. Was that?
Yeah. You're a Skywalker, man. You can do shit like that.
All right. And piloting planetary.
I didn't have any difficulty. Obviously, it's going to be. Well, you only got 2 successes, though, didn't you? Let's just do this.
Well, there's 2 reds
So,
on there.
what are you doing exactly?
Well, which one are you wanting to shoot at, Malik?
I can shoot forward, and Jimmy Ness can shoot backwards if the guy's chasing us, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. But yeah, we need to catch up with the guy in front of us.
Okay, so yeah, we're just punching it and trying to catch up with the guy that's.
Yeah. So everybody, let me just do this real quick. So everybody just kind of immediately accelerates to top speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys take off, and we probably should just do initiative then. Clear. All right.
Vigilance.
Yeah, vigilance for you guys.
God.
Where's it at? It's in the combat side.
Mm-hmm. Combat at the top.
Did you clear it from last time, Bo?
Mm-hmm.
No, you
I
didn't.
did.
No, you did.
I think I did.
We were just
Okay.
rolling.
So you guys just rolled a bunch. There's a bunch of PCs. Let me just do it. Let's just start again, okay? All right, it's cleared now.
Wait, why? I want my 3-2. No, I'm kidding.
There's just like a million PCs on there. You can keep your 3-2 if you want.
No. I will gladly reroll. It's just convenient, Convenient for the DM. Oh yeah, convenient for the GM.
You can have your 3-2.
I'm kidding, Bo.
You guys still get to go first.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, so you guys take off on this thing, and Tess is piloting this thing blindly somehow. You guys don't know how, but she's doing it. She's amazing.
She's the best. The very best. We only have the best here.
Only the best. I have Mance in all my pictures.
Oh, I didn't even notice that there's like full-on Mando armor in the character creator.
Yeah.
That's neato.
All right, so who's going first?
Obviously.
I think they. I'll go.
Tess.
No, it's obviously Tess. Yeah.
So Tess is going to. All right, roll a pilot advantage here.
All right. Let's see. Actually, before she does that, she is going to commit a force die to agility.
Fucking A. Fucking 6 agility. Fucking some stupid shit. God damn, that's badass. I wish my character wasn't so fucking one track like melee and I could do all the agility shit. Agility is just linked to so many skills. It's crazy.
It is. It really is.
Like all gun skills, all like perception, all fucking piloting skills, all of it, agility.
So you go ahead and gun it. Your speeder gains somewhat on this speeder in front of you, and you're now able to act on this speeder here.
Fucking A.
So
if that's the case, then she already took her turn, right? That's a full turn. She can't do anything else.
Yeah, I think that's the action to do that, gain the advantage, and then you can do.
How far is that spear physically away from us?
Us with abilities to get across there. So like my force jump and your jetpack could end up in the cab.
Yeah, you could make it there. After that move. Before that move, you could not, but now you can probably make it there.
Malik could make it into that cab too if he really wanted to. He could just like jump, and although it wouldn't be smart for him because
I'm not gonna do
he
that.
can't slow his descent.
Right.
It's cool though. We just like jump in their cab and fly away.
That would be fine if Europa wants to go next and jump in there and try to take the holocron without wrecking the speeder.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if whoever goes next doesn't really matter. The NPC is next anyway. So
that's true. Okay.
Yep. So the NPC, kind of like one of the co-pilot here in this one, they look behind and they see the speeder like gaining ground on them, and he kind of turns around with his rifle and aims it at who's the most exposed? Would you think?
Oh, probably either me or Jaminos. Me or Jaminos. I'm standing on top of the fucking speeder, lightsaber ignited.
You're about ready to get it on.
Yeah, I've got my jetpack kind of revving up, and I'm definitely kind of a big hulking target.
Either me or him, you pick. Doesn't matter. I mean, I would say they would want to shoot at the fucking lightsaber because it's a lightsaber, but I mean, I'm not opposed to the Mandalorian getting shot in the face.
Mandalorian it is.
Well, you look more threatening to me. I take that as an insult.
That's 3 armor.
Yeah. No, well, you have more than that. You have your soak otherwise.
3 defense is what I was saying.
3 defense. It's probably going to miss. Let's see here. Ready?
Yeah.
Damn, it's a good roll.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of threat, though. It's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 minus your soak.
7, so that's 7 damage.
Oh god, that's a rough hit. Jeez. Well, I mean, that's a fuck ton of threat. Like, holy shit.
Yeah,
what do you want to do with that threat? You can do a lot of stuff.
Can you make his engine stall?
No, it would have to target the individual. I mean, you could do something like make him fall prone. You could make his initiative slot is now last in the initiative order for the rest of the encounter. Like, that initiative slot is just 0, and it goes last. It doesn't mean it gains a new turn. It's just he goes last no matter what. He could. His weapon is damaged. His range, or no, those are all just spare.
How about like he's kind of like gets up, kneels in the seat, and like turns around to go back, and as he fires, his partner actually accelerates, so it like makes him fall forward. He tumbles over into the back seat. He's not going to be able to.
I mean, actually, Germinos, you need to look at the advantage and threat, dude. You could just perform an immediate maneuver and end up in his cab.
Yeah,
just
you
immediately.
can do that too. Yeah,
that's kind of what I was thinking. I was thinking, I take the hit, but I use it to, while I'm flying basically in midair, to just land in his cab and throw him out.
Well, you're not gonna throw him out. You just get a free maneuver. You could also make him go last. I mean,
yep, I'm cool with you taking the hit.
I want to get into his
jetpacking over there.
Yeah, I'll use it to. I'll actually use it as kind of, I take the hit even before I launch. I just kind of give him that dead ass stare with my helmet, and then just jump flying right over him, kind of this terrifying 6'5" black and gold behemoth.
Well, I mean, there's also the fact that only costs 2 threat. You still have 4 more.
I'll say he goes prone because I land on top of him.
And then you still have 1 more after that.
I don't know what to do with that one.
You get past the boost to the next person.
Yeah, I'll pass the boost to the next person.
You could make him lose a speed or something. Or
wow, that was.
Did they perform a maneuver? Oh no! Something you might want to do instead of making him go prone, you could make the R vehicle make a maneuver as well, for only 2.
Sure, why not?
Because it's all a part of a chase scene anyway, so.
I'm fine with that.
That's fine.
And then that leaves you with 2, but you could just like bank that or just say whatever to it.
Yeah.
Or give a blue to somebody.
Well, I think what happened is like, he gets shot, he jumps up his jetpack, he lands on this thing. The driver kind of looks back over his right shoulder. He's like, what the hell? And so he's swerving, but he loses speed as he does that. And so Tess is able to bank around like one of these smokestacks and just kind of fall in alongside of this other speeder. How does that sound? So you guys are kind of rubbin's racing right now.
Tess communicates with the driver of the other speeder. The one-finger salute.
Rowdy Burns.
All right, so PC's up.
Malik looks at your. Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, you're already there. You're already there. Mm-hmm. Like, fuck, why would I even want to do anything? You're already there. I think, like, thematically, although I don't have reflect, I'm, like, in the background reflecting the, like, shitty shots of the police officers in the background.
Just RP
like the, yeah, just, like, reflecting it. Because I'm, like, turned backwards after I see that Jaminos has got that. And, double ice saber just flipping bolts back.
And Malik screams from one speeder to the other, "Get that holocron!"
R4's buzzing, just buzzing and like so excited to see this action.
Tess is trying to hold steady there so Jim can jetpack back.
So, what would it take to actually just recover the holocron and get the hell out?
You have a 1 in 2 chance to figure out who has it. So, like I said, like you can disable or kill just with an action, a free action, if you're actually in the cab of the vehicle. So basically, it's a coin flip.
Yeah, I'm gonna just kill the guy I basically flew towards. This kind of pick him up, kind of with that still that dead stare that the helmet kind of gives off, and just throw him off the.
Don't throw his body. He might have.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I was just thinking. So you can just like rear back and just knock him out with a punch, and then start rifling through his clothing.
I mean, the driver's not going to stop.
Oh no!
Ask
I'll
you why.
kill him. I'll straight up kill him. I'm not going to mess around with him being knocked out. I'll just snap his neck and start looking through his stuff.
All right. So I'm going to roll a D100. 1 to 50 is success, and otherwise not.
Could we just do like a D2 instead, or?
Yeah, it's fine. Do they have a D2 on here? Let me see.
You can just type it like I just did.
There you go. So you snap this guy's neck, you rifle through his clothing, and like a dolt, just like in his pocket.
And now you can spend your maneuver to get back in our vehicle, and we're done.
Yeah, I maneuver right back into the vehicle, just kind of light jetpack over.
You don't even have to do that. You could just like probably step across from the 2 engines or the 2 turbines, because Tess is probably be doing some like stupid fucking like halfway flying upside down shit. Fucking the Force is weird, guys. There's a blind, literally our best choice for a pilot is a fucking blind girl. Come on.
Blind Skywalker. They've done some good things in the past. Blind.
It's just a flesh wound.
So Jaminos grabs this thing and just like leaps over, and as Jaminos lands on your speeder, it just kind of sways a little bit, and he's back on board. In the meantime, we're just going to start kind of RPing a little bit. The pilots of the two speeders gain ground a little bit because you guys were jockeying back and forth, and we have 2 NPCs up, and Jaminos is most exposed, so you're going to take a shot at him.
No, I would say that I am, because Jaminos would have gotten into the cab. So
okay, so we'll take probably 2 shots at you then.
That is more than fine.
So let's go. The paid off police. What's your defense?
Oh, I mean,
3.
you have to also think, because don't you have NPC for the speeders to maneuver?
Yeah, well, just
because the speeders need to maneuver, and then they also need to, because you need to consider range bands, right?
They probably have drivers, right? A driver and
yeah,
a
but
shooter.
they have their own turns.
No, I just did 3 turns.
Okay, well, yeah, all right then.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, we all know it's kind of over with, so we should probably just RP it, actually. It's starting to get a little bit late. If you guys are fine with that.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. I mean, if you want to shoot me, you can shoot me. I don't mind.
I don't really care about shooting you guys. Just the story.
Oh, well, I mean,
well,
I'll tell you right now.
I think our play here is Tess yells
my damage is going to... Oh, sorry, Rob.
No, go ahead.
You shoot me and you're actually going to do damage, so because I'm not that good on range, my whole spiel is melee, so.
All right, let's see if you take any damage just for story purposes here.
Oh, I will definitely take damage.
Let's see here.
That's what I'm interested in, is I want to find out how much damage I would take.
You're 3 black?
3 black, yeah.
And I think there's... Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, 1 misses me. Next one.
1 misses you. Other misses.
So yeah, I just flick them back at him, and we'll say with that threat that I hit the speeder on the last shot, and it starts smoking, and I have to peel away.
Yeah, it peels away. There's one more following you guys, and all the PCs are up again. Let's test. Let's put it in your hands here.
Okay, well, Tess is gonna yell for Malik and Jaminos, guns front, brace yourselves. Europa, hang on. And then she just stomps the air brakes on the speeder.
Oh, Jesus. It's like like Europa wasn't prepared for that at all. So what happens is she gets flung off, right?
Oh,
and like the thing is in the prequels, you see them fall from like great heights, and she's doing that like Jedi free fall thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and she just like right now she's just falling, but like all you'd have to do is maneuver, and she could just land safely by using force move to land on the actual thing. But right now she's just falling through the air. It's like through her comm on the thing that's coming through the rest of the team's comm is like, thanks, Brad, and she's just like falling through the air. Lightsaber ignited.
Jaminos just kind of rolls his eyes and tosses the holocron to Malik, and then jumps off after her.
Malik catches the holocron.
Guns up, man. Don't worry about me. I can fall forever. I mean, legitimately, I don't take fall damage anymore because I can just force move out of the way.
Well, and I can use my jetpack to slow down my ascent. It's to him, he just saw you fall off without a jetpack. That's all I'm saying. Thematically, it makes sense for me, but
no, Europa would want you to care about the mission. Like, she would probably say something to the fact of like, care about the mission. It's thematic, so don't worry about it. I'm doing the Jedi thing.
Right. Jaminos tosses the holocron to Malik and points the gun forward. Then
Malik looks at R4 and he's like, I hate this place. Especially as he's whipped backwards.
Duly noted.
So you guys stop, and the last police cruiser just speeds past you. Tries to do like a turn and bank and turn around, but just clips one of those smokestacks and just spins off into oblivion and crashes.
Yeah, for any speeders that are left, Malik is just laying into him.
Same thing with Jaminos. He's taking his shots. He's enjoying this.
There's just one of them left, and they just it loses its fins. Its fins get blown off, and so just like descends, and then like as you guys speed along, you hear this.
And so at that point, Malik would comm to, or have R4 comm to Mox to come pick him up.
And Mox would do so.
Let's get the hell off this shithole.
So as you guys speed away, there's a cut scene, and this is like maybe a couple of hours earlier, like during the time you were fighting that one of the First Order bounty hunter special ops guy and all that. There's reports of like First Order vessels in orbit, just coming out of space, and the Hutts actually call an emergency council, and there's like heated argument, and Big Z is trying to argue with all these other guys, and he's scared shitless though now, and there's reports of actually the First Order coming out of hyperspace, and he's kind of a douchebag, but he's starting to come around to your way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is, after much disagreement, your argument wins out, and forces arrive, and there's like, as you come away with this holocron, there's this space battle going on over Nar Shaddaa, And since you actually convinced him earlier, there's a significant number of hut vessels that show up that's actually able to fight off this like little probing force that Thrawn, whoever, sent out. And it, unfortunately,
there would have also been. Go ahead.
You go ahead.
There should be, at least by this point, a Mandalorian frigate that's arrived to make sure that they were good on it.
Yeah.
Right. And so, now your thing chirps again, and you see this guy here. And he says, "It's time to return home." All right, that's it.
We gotta have like a Tess and Malik centric episode. I'm telling you. Lately, it's been all about